Most of us, probably get our music through a phone app these days. In fact, we were just listening to music from Spotify just a couple of seconds ago. It's really been years since CDs or even records were mainstream, but now there's a local shop hoping to keep the sounds of yesterday alive. It's called Bring Back Analog. I got to speak with the owner and tour the shop. Here's an extended look. Was for the store. What was the moment where you were like, yeah, let's do something like this?
I think there was a couple moments. The first moment was I had resigned from Freedom Construction at the time. That was a small construction manager I got involved with during their startup. And I love that time in a business, like the startup, it's moving fast, it's entrepreneurial. I loved it. Yeah. They started to get pretty well established, and then when I kind of entered into the day-to-day stuff, I just had no energy left. It just wasn't there. There just wasn't that passion, that drive I used to always have for the trades. I still have passion for the trades, but just me personally, I just didn't have that drive anymore. And that's when I thought, okay, I need to take a break. I've never in my life just stepped away from anything and just said, let's figure out what I want to do. And so in August, I resigned from Freedom, and I started just flip stereos just for something to do again. Like I'd always done it 5th, 6th grade. I mean, I remember people dropping stuff at my parents' house for me to fix, whether it be old DOS and Windows computers or stereos. I just always had a knack for anything mechanical and electrical. And I've always enjoyed audio. Music, just a huge part of my life. Played the trumpet my whole life. I've ran professional audio for a singing group. I ran it for 20 years, been all over the world, actually run sound with them. I've been in recovery for a lot of 24 hours. In my recovery journey and even getting to the point when I made that choice to sober up, like there's songs that just hit me. So I've always been involved in audio, and yeah, so when I quit Freedom in August, started flipping equipment, and then in January I kind of sat down with my wife and said, I think I want to start an audio store. I said, I love it. There's not much in Grand Rapids or the surrounding area focusing on vintage audio or just used audio gear, and nobody's really making a lot of audio gear in that mid range. So I just in January said, let's do it. Started to look for places to lease out. This one came up. I think within 2 weeks I had said, okay, I want it, and I want to move in 2 weeks. And then we started to remodel the space. It was pretty white box. And we wanted the store to feel like the 80s puked in it. Like we just wanted more of that homey feel, that 80, like your basement when you grew up in the 70s, 80s, 90s. There's a lot of media out there that's brought this back, reinvigorated it.
I think that's a really important part of the store as well, right? Not only are you selling, but you're educating folks on when you do have this equipment, this is how you take care of it.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the equipment's like a car. It'll run for years and years and years, as long as you maintain it. So a lot of this gear was meant to be maintained. It wasn't meant to just turn on when it's done, throw it away. I mean, that's a lot of what the gear is nowadays. Once it's done, it's done. It dies, you throw it away. This gear is meant to be repaired. There's service manuals. Like there's manuals that tell you exactly how to repair it, the parts, all the individual part that's inside it. So in the 70s and 80s, they gave you those manuals so you could, as an individual, repair it. So when somebody comes in, like they just need a cleaning. There's sometimes the knobs get dust and dirt and it gets scratchy when you turn it. And a lot of people think, oh man, my stereo's bad. No, it just needs a good cleaning with the proper chemicals and cleaners we use that cleans and lubricates. So we do that. Like they'll come in, we can clean your piece of equipment, but we want you to watch us do it, because I want to make sure you know how to do it. We can do it for you and send you out the door, but I really want you to learn how to do it. Yeah.
In today's 2025, where do you go and find these good quality things? Do you find them beaten up and you fix them back up, or are you buying them, sourcing them here, and then selling them? How does that process work?
A little bit of both. So when I look for gear to put in the store to sell, first thing I look for is cosmetics. Don't really care too much if it's working or not working. So I look at cosmetics. Is the wood case on it good? Does it have all the knobs? Because those are things that we call them unobtainium. Like there's knobs for certain pieces like you just can't get unless one pops up on eBay, like somebody's parting out a unit. So we look at that first is, okay, this is a piece of gear, it looks good. How is the parts? Like, what did they make a lot of these units? And if they did, then we know we can probably find knobs and be able to repair it. Another thing I started to do is importing from Japan. Japan has a lot of gear. And they, from what I understand about the Japanese culture, when you have a amp or you have something you need to throw away, you have to pay by the pound. They don't have, like we have here in the States, this huge land mass with landfills. So like if you have to dispose of a let's say an 80-pound amp, that could be $400. Wow. So rather than do that, why not sell it? So I do have some connections in Japan.
I'm going to ask you about your dog too, because it seems like he hangs out with you as well when you guys are here. All right, tell me about the handsome dog over here.
All right, so this is Winston. I think every stereo store needs a dog. So he is 4 years old, and he is getting a new puppy in another 2 weeks. We're gonna have a brand new golden retriever, so to go with him. He had a sister. She passed away about 3 months ago. So he's been really clingy. So I just started bringing him here every day, and he loves it here. Just hangs out, watches the door. I mean, I bet you the first few days I was open, I said, "Oh, what brought you in?" "Oh, we saw the dog in the window." I'm like, "Okay, good," right? I'm like, "Good job, buddy. Good marketing." But yeah, so he just comes here with me every day and just loves it. Hangs out, just walks around.
I love it. And of course, you know, Winston's getting a new buddy, but the dog would also be very proud of his owner there.
Yeah.
And, you know, his tail would wag and you would see him just like, yeah, that is our store.
That's so sweet.
Yeah, that's
Oh
very
my
cool.
God,
But
he's
still
such
a really
cutie.
cool concept for a store.
Incredibly.
Again, he said it there that you can't really find anything else in the West Michigan area like that.
Yeah, no, you absolutely can't. And we talked about earlier how it's becoming so much more popular, so much more in mainstream media to get a record player,
Yeah.
albums. I mean, multiple of us at the station have them.
Yeah.
However,
You
like,
just said that you need to get your record.
I need mine cleaned.
Yeah.
I need my record player cleaned. I need to figure out how to clean the needle too, because
Yep.
that's something that I don't know
And he'll
the
do it for
proper
you.
way.
He'll do
So
it for you
I'm-
and he'll teach you.
Which that's so cool that we have that now somewhere kind of locally. Like, it's really cool to see that. And it's such a cool story that he has too.
Yeah, it's a really cool story. And of course, you can find that business. It's on 28th Street Southeast in between Breton Road. There's a railroad track bridge right there too. It's in between Breton and that bridge on 28th Street Southeast, not Southwest, because that's what I originally punched into the GPS to
Yeah.
go all the way there. And then I called him and I'm like, "Where's your store at?" And he was like, "It's on 28th Southeast." And I was like, "Oh."
Like, re-put that in. I know I
Yeah.
heard you kind of mentioning all morning, like, no, it is Southeast.
It's
And I thought in
Southeast.
my head, I wonder if you went to the wrong one originally, because I've done that for a lot of addresses.
Yep.
So it's good to note.
Yeah.
Southeast.
So if you were on the west side of 131, you're on the wrong spot.